Hello, students and instructors. I'm happy to be back with you for the fourth video in our Go the Extra Mile series. This video builds from Chapter 4, Preparing and Proposing a Public Relations Plan. Professor Whitmer and I call this video Under Promise and Over Deliver, a phrase used repeatedly by Professor Pete Evenaugh, a colleague of ours here at Cal State Fullerton. Later, when Chapter 6 helps you understand research, Professor Evenaugh's phrase will crop up again. What do we mean by under-promise and over-deliver? Well, first, let me tell you what it does not mean. The under-promise part of that statement does not mean give the client less than they want in terms of your time, attention, and expertise. It does not mean look for the quickest way to get the work done. Get her done, as they say in the South. It does not mean give minimal effort to the public relations project or campaign because you're really busy and you've got a lot of other classes and there's a big essay due in your history class on Tuesday, and it doesn't mean any of that. Under promise means be reasonable about what you and your team can accomplish in the time you have allotted to work and the resources available to you. Under promise means build a project or campaign that will advance the client's communication and make a significant positive change for the client organization. But at the same time, under promise means don't go over your head. Promise the client what your team plans to do and what you know you can reasonably accomplish and what your team can accomplish with the limited time and resources that you have. In other words, be reasonable, especially if what you intend to promise is outside your team's control. In other words, don't promise 5,000 new followers on the client's Instagram in the next 3 months. That's just not reasonable. It would be like if I promised right now, this video is going to change your life. You've seen those videos out there, right? It's going to change your life. I mean, really, is this video going to change your life? No, changing your life is outside my control, so I'm not going to promise that. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, Swanson, I understand the under-promise part, but what about the over-deliver part? Well, here's the deal on that. Your team should structure the project or campaign so that it proposes reasonable outcomes to the client, and your team should be prepared and very confident you can meet those outcomes. And then, as you get going, keep an outcome or two tucked in your back pocket. In other words, these are minor outcomes that, when met, would give the client more than they expected from your team's project or campaign, but you're not going to promise those minor outcomes right now at the beginning. In this way, you are under-promising because you are not mentioning those minor outcomes that your team plans to deliver. And if you do deliver them later without having promised them, you'll give the client more satisfaction than they expected. It would be like, if I promised to bring you lunch today and I said, I'll stop by around noon with a sandwich for you. And then I ask you what kind of sandwich you like. And then at noon I show up with a sandwich, exactly the kind you asked for, except it's much larger than you expected and it has French fries on the side or tater tots if you're a tater tot person. Oh, and I brought cookies. I know you like snickerdoodle cookies, so I brought 2 of them just for you. I underpromised. You expected a small sandwich and you got a big one. And I over-delivered a big sandwich with fries or tater tots and 2 of your favorite cookies. Bringing it back to your client now, the point here is this. If your team delivers the public relations results that your client was expecting, the client will certainly be satisfied. But if you exceed those expectations and deliver something additional, even if it's just a small added value, it is added value. Your client will be pleasantly surprised. And ultimately, anytime we wrap up a public relations project or campaign, it's good to deliver a little unexpected plus for the client. That kind of thing helps us improve our professional reputation and perhaps get future referrals from the client. You never know. Professor Whitmer and I thank you again for your time, energy, and enthusiasm as you prepare for a business career in public relations or in some other field where your PR knowledge will surely be a benefit to a future employer. May you always have the opportunity to over-deliver and build a reputation for excellence.